Hey everybody, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. So this video is going to be about how to change a 3-prong dryer to a 4. The reason you would do that is because you have moved, or you have an older dryer and you moved in somewhere that has the newer after 1996 plug. So we're going to get right to that. But first, let me do a couple things. If you can, please subscribe to the channel. If you find the content useful, please subscribe anyway. It doesn't cost you anything. All it's going to do is help me, and it'll notify you when I have new content in the future. So within the next 2 minutes, for those of you that are here just to see, you just want to know what to do with those wires, I'm going to get right to that within the next 1 minute. Now what I urge you to do is, after the 1 minute or 2 minutes that it takes for me to show you which wires go where, if you want to know why that is, or if you want to get a little bit of background and learn a little bit, continue to watch the video. Okay, if you've recently moved into a home, purchased a new dryer, or you just simply need to update your dryer's power cord to meet your current electrical codes, converting a 240 volt 3-prong dryer cord to a 240 volt 4-prong dryer cord is something you can do. While it involves some basic electrical work, it's manageable for just about everybody, anybody with a little bit of DIY experience and just a couple of tools. Before we get into this process, it's important to note that electrical work carries inherent risks. If you're uncertain about your ability to handle this electrical component, or if you're unsure whether your home's wiring or circuit breakers can accommodate the change, consult a licensed electrician. Always do that. In this guide, I'll walk you through the steps to safely convert your dryer cord from a 3-prong to a 4-prong. Now, why would you convert to a 4-prong cord? Well, the main reason for switching to a 4-prong cord is simply to comply with modern electrical codes and enhance your safety, because the older homes may still use a 3-prong outlet, which combine both the neutral and the ground wire into one connection. In contrast, newer 4-prong outlets separate the neutral and the ground wires, reducing the risk of electrical shock, fire, and damage to your dryer. As of 1996, the National Electric Code, NEC, and you'll see that written on a lot of your equipment, began requiring a 4-prong dryer outlet in new construction and major renovations. This reduced the potential for dangerous faults that could occur when the neutral wire becomes disconnected, leaving the dryer chassis energized. And that's what happens sometimes with the old three prong outlets. People have either been shocked or completely electrocuted and killed by this. This is why the change is important. The only tool that you're going to need is a 4-prong dryer cord. Make sure it's the right length. Usually you can only get them in a 4-foot length. A screwdriver, typically a Phillips, and a flathead. A socket wrench, voltage tester, electrical tape, and wire cutters and strippers. Alright, now, first thing you're going to do is turn the power off. Before doing any electrical work, the first thing and most critical step is to turn off the power to the dryer and the breaker box. Find the dryer circuit breaker and switch it off. Then double check with the voltage tester to ensure there's no power running through the outlet. Now you can get one of these testers. Very inexpensive. You can get them for $12, and you can get these ones that are no touch. There's no touching them. All right, next thing you're going to do, once the power is off, you're going to unplug the dryer from the 240 volt outlet. It's an obvious step, but you have to do it. Using your screwdriver, remove the screws holding the current 3-prong cord to the back of the dryer. Usually there's 3 terminals, 3 screws, one for each wire, a hot, neutral, and a ground. Carefully take the cord off. The 3-prong cord will have 3 wires. It's going to have 2 hot wires, a black and a red, and 1 neutral wire, a white. Note that the ground wire is typically included with the neutral wire in the 3-prong system. Now, the next thing you're going to do is inspect the dryer's wiring. Once the 3-prong cord is removed, you're going to check the internal connections on the dryer's terminal block. For a proper 4-prong installation, you'll need to remove the ground connection from the terminal block. Now this is usually a little strap that connects one part of this little block to another part of the little block. Neutral and the ground wires must be kept separate. They have to be kept separate. That's what you're doing. You're going from a 3 to a 4. This is how you increase your safety, because you're changing the ground from the grounding just to the actual part of the washer, of the dryer. You're going to ground it, actually ground it. So the neutral and ground wires must be separate. Now it's time to connect the new 4-prong cord. A 4-prong cord includes 2 hot wires. It's going to be a black and a red. That's where it's different. 1 neutral wire, that's going to be your white, is your neutral now, and 1 ground wire is going to be green or bare, and that's usually going to ground to the housing. Using a screwdriver, connect the 4-prong cord to the terminal block on the back of the dryer. You're going to have the way that's going to be. Here it is. This is what you came to hear. It's what you came to look at. The red and black wires. Attach these to the outer 2 terminals. Those are the hot terminals. The outer 2 on that block. One's red, one's black. The white wire, you're going to attach that to the center terminal. And there you have it, the green or the bare wire. This is going to be attached to the ground screw on the dryer's metal frame. It's usually just below the terminal block. I don't know, I wouldn't say that. It's just below, or just maybe in one of the left or right top corner. Make sure each wire is securely tightened and avoid loose connections. Secure the cord, and then you can see that's usually just a little clamp, and make sure that that clamp is secured on the inside of the dryer, and that keeps that cord in place. Once all wires are secured and the cord is properly routed through the relief clamp on the back of the dryer, and this prevents the straining of the wires and keeps them from getting frayed or worn out. And then you're going to test the connection. Most people are just going to plug it in and turn it on. So, I mean, honestly, that's what most people are going to do. So, when you're converting the 3-prong cord to a 4-prong cord, it's a simple process. It significantly enhances safety by separating the ground neutral wires. It's fairly straightforward, but always prioritize safety. Ensure the dryer is unplugged before working. It's always best to call a professional if you don't know what you're doing. So here's a good illustration I came across. This shows you where different wires go for different outlets and receptacles. Really a great shot. Shows you where each wire goes. This is on the 3-pole 3-wire non-grounding 250 volt. This is for the 3-pole 4-wire grounding 30 amp 250 volt. Really interesting views here. Show you exactly where each wire goes and where each one of these prongs are and what that prong represents, which wire it represents. This can be very helpful, showing you which prong is the ground, which prong is hot, which prong, it's really could be really useful. And again, I want to emphasize that when you have the 3-prong cord, you see right here, this is it's taken all the ground to the chassis of the equipment. So if it gets energized, if there's nowhere right there, if that line drops off and one of these other lines energizes against the case, it's going to energize the housing, and if you touch it, you're going to get shocked, or if you're standing in a puddle of water, possibly you could get electrocuted. And you'll see here on the 4-wire system how much different it is, and how that right there, that neutral, picks it, changes spots. Now the idea is, if one of these lines drops and energizes, the voltage will be carried back to the breaker, tripping the breaker, and the housing on the dryer is grounded. So that's the idea of the 4-prong system. neutral line will carry voltage back and trip the breaker. That's the safety. And here again is a look at the 3-prong system, and just look at the difference here. If there's any problem with these, with any of these lines, it would fed directly back to the housing. And here's a good look at the back of the unit. This shows you how to wire these things. It's exactly what I just told you. This is usually on the back of every unit, but people won't follow it or don't understand it. It's pretty straightforward, and this is exactly what I have gone over in this video. It even shows you a picture of the plugs. Look at that. See the picture there? There's the 4-prong, there's the 3-prong. There's how you wire it, there's how you wire it. So that's usually on the back of all units. If you're seeing this, that means you stayed for the entire video. I hope that information was useful to you, and I hope you now understand why we have 3-wire and 4-wire systems in the electrical, in the American system. So anyway, give us a like or a thumbs up, or subscribe if you're not subscribed. Doesn't do anything. All it does is notify you when I have new content. Doesn't cost you anything, doesn't do anything to your algorithm. Just lets you know when I have something that comes out. So remember, they may do it another way, but that's the way I do it. We'll see you next time.